And now, Freelance Heroism presents Return to Ravenloft.
Hey everybody, welcome to Freelance Heroism. My name is Dees.
And I'm Rachel.
And before everyone gets started, we just want to say thank you to everyone out there who donates at the Patreon, in particular those who donate at the producer tier.
Yes.
Rachel, would you like to let us know who they are?
I would love to. We want to say thank you to Duncan, Crispy, Nate, Breakmeister, and Rebecca. Thank you so much, everyone.
You help us make a better show for everyone, and we couldn't do it without you.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Thank you.
Rachel.
Dees.
Let's talk about game pacing.
Okay.
Right?
Uh-huh.
Game pacing is super important.
Yes, I think so.
And a lot of like shows and media, I'm gonna minimize that just so we don't. Anyway, sorry.
Okay.
We have something going on in the background. It's sort of like a bomb going off on our screen. Game pacing is important, I think, because a game that's too slow kind of leads people to not want to. You don't take the ride. It's not an adventure anymore. It's like a mundane thing.
Yeah.
Whereas something that's too fast doesn't give you time to feel the weight of anything. So we talk about this a lot in movies and TV shows that we watch, where sometimes I'm like, man, the pacing on that was way too fast, or pacing on that was. I prefer a slower pace, but I know some people not so much.
Yeah.
So like The Godfather is not everyone's favorite thing because it's really slow. I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.
Do you have an example of pacing that was problematic or pacing that was good?
This is probably a horrible example because it's a horrible movie.
Yeah.
But when I watched Suicide Squad, I felt like I just didn't really understand. I didn't really have time to digest anything.
Yeah.
And I mean, that was not the only problem with that movie, clearly, but the pacing was very bad for that.
Yeah, it was choppy too.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't let your eyes rest or give you a moment to consider what had happened.
Yeah.
It was just kind of slapstick and too fast.
Yes.
Yeah. And meanwhile, a lot of people had the complaint with the first Dune movie that Dune was too slow or too whatever.
Oh.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought like there are a lot of movies out there where I can understand the average person doesn't want to spend, like Lord of the Rings gets complaints sometimes about it being paced too slow. I thought Lord of the Rings might have been perfect. Might have been perfect pacing.
Yeah.
I don't know. People have problems with it, I guess. But more what we're talking about is in a D&D game and how it keeps players kind of connected to the actions that they performed. So just recently you were doing towards the tail end of your D&D game, you're DMing for your home group, right?
Yeah, I've been running a campaign for my home group. And I have 6 players, so sometimes scheduling issues happen.
Right.
And if it's more towards the middle of the campaign, I would say I don't feel as bad about having to, like skip a game 1 week. But like you said, we're at like the very end of the campaign. And we keep having issues where we have to skip a week. And I feel bad because I feel like it's really bogging down the pacing. The players, because we might go a month or 6 weeks between games, they forget what's happening or what they did recently or just all kinds of things. And because I'm the DM, I sort of have to reread the campaign or at least sections of it before each game. So I'm pretty on top of like what's happening and I look at my notes and stuff like that. They don't. So it's hard because I might say something that or hint at something that I know is important. And if we had played recently, they would most likely remember that it's important. But because our pacing is very stop and start right now, they don't remember everything that's going on. And I feel like I'm giving them a bad game finale because of it.
I mean, they're sort of responsible for it though, right? You're ready to rock and roll and they're the one that is hiccuping the game.
Yeah.
So if they have a bad experience, it's on them. I mean, that's
Yeah, but
I
I
don't know
mean,
how else to frame it.
yeah, I guess because like I'm the DM, I'm running the game from my house. I do a lot of the like organizing and reminding people about the schedule and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Uh, it feels like it is more my responsibility than the players.
In all fairness, I was gonna forget to upload the episode last week, and you reminded me minutes before I was supposed to do it. So
Mhm.
everyone could thank you for that. But from a player perspective, I know how it is, right? Like
Mhm.
sometimes it's been a month since you played last, and it becomes complicated to remember what you were doing exactly, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there are moments that are fresh in your mind, and then there are other moments that are tertiary at best,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And sometimes they're all relevant, but just trying to remember the not as flashy, important, a huge thing,
Mhm.
but the like details
Yeah.
complicated.
I had like another thing last game, the party did a long rest for the first time in quite a while
Yeah,
because we've had so many starts and stops, and I have been waiting specifically for them to do a long rest because I knew something was going to happen to two of the party members once they long rested. Um,
right.
and so I had that happen, and then the party was like, "Well, that's weird. That didn't happen last time we long rested." And I had to step in and be like, "You have not long rested since
Yeah,
like this point."
January 14th,
Right.
right?
Like this is like I specifically have been keeping an eye on this. You have taken a couple short rests. You have not long rested. Uh, like this isn't something that suddenly happened. This is a result of something you did previously. And it's just because we have had so many gaps in the game, they didn't remember the last time they long rested.
Yeah, and that's fair. I mean, that does cause a wrinkle in the game.
Hmm.
And there's not really a whole lot you can do other than just play without the players that are missing. And sometimes that becomes its own complication,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, especially for like the end of the campaign because I want everybody to be there. I want everybody to have a good experience. They've been playing these characters for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just a complication.
Hmm.
Yeah. Sometimes you play a video game every day
Yeah.
and then it goes long periods and then you come back and you're like, So when I played 12 for the
Hmm.
first time, I played 12 like nonstop and then got bogged down with work, right? And
Right.
so when I came back to it, I was like ready to hit it hard again and I just got into the like energy of the game
Hmm.
and then it ended. I was at the end of the game.
Ah,
And I was like, fuck, this is like it was like I was like an hour and a half from the end of the game
yeah.
when I stopped. So it
Wow.
was yeah. Took the shine off a little bit, but I still think it's great.
Yeah.
But I can understand how the pacing can be problematic.
Hmm.
So how do you solve that problem?
So some of the things I do to try to at least mitigate it is that at the start of every game, I have everybody recap to me what happened last time we played.
Uh-huh.
Um, so that way it helps them remind each other of what happened. It's so I know if they misinterpreted something, then maybe I can correct it then. Although sometimes because it's their character misinterpreting something that might have been kind of vague, I can't really step in and be like, this is actually what it is. Um, but
Yeah.
I think the recapping has helped a lot, and it also has helped encourage the other players to take notes, which was an issue when we started, was that nobody would take notes.
I
And
only in my characters I only ever take notes if the character would take notes.
Mhm.
Right. Otherwise I have to use my memory to remember it just like a person would. I'm
Yeah,
not expected to know every single person's name I met at the tavern.
right.
That's insane.
Yeah,
But I know some people like to write down every NPC they interact with's name like they're like a detective. That's
yeah.
weird to me.
I don't need them to write down and remember every NPC's name, but for, if they find a clue about something, if they find a list or a note that maybe is important to the plot, then I'd at least
Yeah.
like them to write down like a quick synopsis of what they discovered or what the note said or something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that it's sort of like a fine balance, right?
Mhm.
Like if it's something like with Kaeviir, often he has a decent memory,
Yeah.
but he's also very uninterested in a lot of the people who he interacts with. So
Mhm.
he's not going to take detailed notes of some fucking person he met. He's like, who gives a shit? This person's not important.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's just the way it goes. I mean, and also with oh, you know what that means? We've reached the end of our intro because pacing is important, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right.
And that means it's time to go to the episode.
All right. Well, this is Return to Ravenloft, Season 2, Episode 28. No Woman, No Scry.
I like that title, but I'm gonna be honest with you. That alarm that we set should have been way louder. I wanted something way more aggressive. Next time.
And that's where the scene ends as the Scry.
Don't worry, it's Victor Trench. You're fine. Not gonna be a problem. Victor Stench.
All right. As my scry ends, I'm going to stand up from the table. I'm going to look back at Brendan, who is still steering, and I'm going to say, "You need to turn around. We're going to Materia Bay."
You heard her.
All right, Duck. Blood vessel commands. He hits the wheel and cranks it and spins it.
Grab the table.
no.
Dex saves everybody.
Oh no! What am I at?
Oh,
Fuck. 15. Oh no!
You know my favorite part of this whole thing is I was gone for literally 10 minutes.
What was your roll, Nate?
1.
Oh, okay. So-
One.
it's a total of
I love this.
9.
Okay. All right. So,
Apparently, I'm still
Adrie, you're
sleepy.
able to hold yourself firm. You
Mm.
know, you plant yourself, you lower your center of gravity. You're good. Rayne's trying to walk and catch himself. You see Hawks' body come rolling, hits him in the leg. He flips, falls on the track. Both of them go rolling for the side of the deck. They both
thought
hit
the-
the wood.
I thought the beholder was going to take
And then
me.
here comes the beholder. Plop, plop,
Oh,
plop, plop. Bam! Hits them both too.
It's like
At that
Indiana
point-
Jones.
Yeah. At that point, the beholder's like, oh, no. He, like, big eyes just looking down at Rayne. I didn't give you permission.
Please get off me now. Just please get off me.
He gets off
Fuck.
you.
Oh,
And he floats. Hawks is like, Hawk sandwich.
I'm
Hurts.
just gonna peel him off me.
Those little cartoon birds flying around Hawks' head.
And he shoots one with a fireball.
Oh,
man.
sure.
Oh no!
You guys start seeing him fire off firebolts one after the other, trying to hit the birds he can't see.
More
Jeez.
more gentle on the turn next time, Brendan. Unless
we-
it's an emergency.
We really gotta work on that.
I, blood vessel, as you command.
No,
The blood vessel's in charge.
Brendan's the blood vassal. Adri's the dark
Oh.
lady.
The dark lady's in charge, as the
He
dark
doesn't
lady
have
commands.
a brain. He's just a skeleton. So give him a break. Give him a break. He doesn't have any brain. 0%.
Mhm. Okay. I would assume that we will have some time before we reach Materia Bay.
Yeah.
Adri's not happy about having to turn around, especially when we are so close to the springs, but she understands that Rayne's people are in danger, as well as the people of the bay.
Yeah.
I mean, what's worse can happen? Her mom falls in love with Soph? I mean, nothing like that can
That's not gonna happen. That's gross and weird.
happen. I know. Sorry, I just wanted to see your reaction.
It's like Calypso is like writing Adri's mom out of the story.
Wow.
Okay.
I should bring her back.
No. She is dead.
In this world,
Every world.
I have mirrors to bring her from other worlds.
Oh no, she's annoying in all of them.
Like, really?
All right. Captain Rayne,
Yeah.
I think we'll have some time before we get to the bay, but we may want to figure out some sort of plan of how to approach. You know these people, Draga and his crew.
Yeah. Well, from what it sounds like, they know that we're going to be coming by air. That kind of takes away the element of surprise I was hoping for. I guess news travels fast.
Mhm.
We may have to figure out some sort of way to disguise the ship so that we can get close enough, because I mean, I know that they're normally used to shooting things on, the surface of the water, but they're all going to be crack shots. So being up in the air is probably not a good place. Plus, I'm fairly certain Kaeviir would take umbrage to having a couple of holes put in his boat.
Mhm.
We probably should approach the bay from the land side. That way we can get a sense of what's going on in the town before we make our way over open water. I'm going to need some time to think, but yeah, we'll have to come up with something.
Okay.
You said that he had my gunners tied up to a cannon, right?
Yes.
Okay. That might not be such a bad thing.
Okay.
My crew's resilient and resourceful. We might be able to use that to our advantage, believe it or not. All right. How long until we make it to Martira Bay?
I assume we can get
Week.
a long rest. A week.
Oof.
Okay. We can definitely get a long rest in.
You can get several long rests in. You can
Mhm.
meditate like 850 times.
If you push it, probably 3.5 days.
I don't know that I am as confident in my ability with this ship or Brandon's for that matter. We probably don't want to push it too hard. It's enough to know that they know we're coming. That should be good enough. Yeah, long rest time.
All right.
And I am going to try and get up to speed about what kind of firepower the ship has got on it. Because I know we've got what, magical cannons? 2, right?
2 of them.
2 of them. 2 magical cannons, a fireball, happy kobold, a ghost, a skeleton.
And a partridge and a pear tree.
All I need is a bobby pin and some chewing gum, and we're gonna knock this out of the park.
MacGyver. Dude,
Granted,
that
the
show
skeleton-
went crazy at the end. I saw him escape from a desert island using the shingle kind of growth on the side of a palm tree and a can of hairspray and fire. Yeah.
Yep.
He did create a fuse using a block of ice one time and an electrical wire from the light socket, which I thought was perfectly rational. That's a perfectly reasonable thing. You just wait for the ice to melt and then the thing gets in the gasoline, boom, right?
Yeah.
I watched him also use a fucking, what was that, a jet ski out of the back of a fucking coffin. That's where it was. I was like, I'm done. I love MacGyver. I love MacGyver, and I don't quite know what the Phoenix Foundation is, which makes them very cool. But I'm just saying.
That was your Fonzie jumping the shark moment. There was the jet ski coffin.
It's not my favorite thing.
Gotcha.
I think it's safe to say I was upset about
it. I guess it would behoove us. We'll have time to take a long rest and get prepared. So
I'm gonna attune to my new sword.
Ooh.
Okay.
And then we get to watch the buddy comedy of
Yes.
Kaeviir and Ludo.
So
I'm just gonna tie him to a tree and I'll come get him later.
as
So
you
is it
fall,
is it Cavuto? Is it
Neil Cavuto? No, it's not Neil Cavuto. That little
Is it
leprechaun fuck.
Lavier?
Lavier.
How do we ship this?
Ludovier? Sounds like a wine.
So as you guys you guys get about 100 feet from the ground, Kaeviir, and you feather fall, slowing yourself.
D-Walk,
Yes.
I hope that this didn't throw too much a wrench in your plans.
No. Because I pretty much I had 3 paths kind of played out in my head. One was y'all continued over towards Nuvature.
Right.
Y'all went back to Matura, or you guys are crazy enough to go through the mirror again.
Right.
The splitting part I didn't see coming, but
Well,
luckily I'm somewhat prepped for it.
The
So.
justification was
no,
going to. I wasn't
100%
going to.
justify it.
Well, I wasn't going to play out the sleep stuff until after a little while. I was going to have more time to kind of talk to people, but then you started talking about you could poison people and put them to sleep without using magic, and I'm like, this motherfucker is going through my fucking.
Oh no, it was great.
I just want you to go back and listen to it when you listen to the episode. Okay, I want you to go back and listen to how fucking ahead of before you say anything about it. I am literally taking notes on who's eating what, making sure I walked around the room.
You're doing your checklist.
I was ready to engage this plot.
Oh yeah.
And then you start talking about fucking putting people to sleep. And I'm like, what the fuck is he doing? I haven't told anyone about this.
I had this and the worst part was I had my plan set up last session.
I am so I was like, oh my god, I gotta speed this up, otherwise it's gonna look like I'm ripping. But I was literally I go back and listen to the episode, right from the very fucking beginning. As soon as the episode starts, I'm like walking around. Did you have enough to eat? Did you have enough to eat? Check. How about you? Did you have enough to eat? Check. I'm making sure I got everybody.
Mm-hmm. I do love how our brains kind of just synced on this one in different ways.
I was gonna tell Brandon, as soon as everyone was asleep, I had an hour, right, which is plenty of time. I was going to tell him to turn the boat and start going towards Nate's thing, because it was just somewhere where it didn't matter where we were going to send people. I thought we could. That's why I asked about, was it time to pick up the other 3 yet? I figured I could send them over that way, and then I could go do this. And by the time they got back, bingo bango, right? Fucking.
I've been trying to research how to knock Ludo out for
goddamn Adrie the adrenaline shot over here is just fucking pulling the fucking Narcan injection, fucking ruining my fucking.
Look, Adrie is just like having to adapt to her environment. Kaeviir is constantly lying, so she boosts her insight. 12 is trying to poison her just for her crime of existing. She's got to be on it with the poison.
Look, the idea though that this, after we saw her in the last game, I was like, we don't know for certain that that's actually your mom. There's no, because I mean, if you look for them using a sensor, you're gonna find both. If you message them, you're gonna get both. They're indistinguishable on our side. I've never met the lady. I don't know where she's from, so I'm gonna go profile this shit, right? She could have been a mirror who came here and lost her memory.
Well, what's interesting?
Actually, technically, you have met her.
Oh, right. Right, in the story. Sorry.
Free falling Kaeviir. Feather falling, my bad. Okay. So about 100 feet from the ground, you pop your feather fall, and you two safely, gently feather to the ground.
I'm gonna lean him up against the tree. I'm gonna tie him up. Good knots, not bad knots. I'm gonna lay his legs, spread his legs apart flat, butt on the ground, arms behind the tree, tied up, and then back around to the front, around the flat part of his feet, and then back around his neck. So there's no way that he can shift to get loose.
Okay.
His hands are out of the position. He won't be able to buckle his knees in order to move. His feet will be straightened. And he's in a position where he wouldn't be able to get loose. Is that kind of like a good position to tie a person in? All right.
Give me a survival check.
Okay. Not great. Oh, fuck yeah. 20.
Okay.
You know what? Do I want to? Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take the 15 on it. So it'll be 31. Fuck that guy.
Okay. Okay.
He's a spy. I don't trust his ability to get free.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing. Oh, all right. Yeah. All right.
I'm
So-
also gonna gag him so he can't use somatic or audible components to spells. His hands are tied. So no spell casting. No
Okay.
activation of magic items. Okay. Is there a note for how to use these, or I just pour it in his face or whatever?
Pour it in his mouth, I guess.
All right. I'm gonna tilt his head sideways so he doesn't have to release him from the tree. Pour the first one in, pour the second one in, give it a second, and then jam well, let's say the canvas bag I packed some of the shit in. I dumped it out on the floor. I'll stuff it in its mouth.
Okay. It takes a couple seconds and he starts twitching and as much as he can being tied up, and his head kind of comes up and he looks up. His eyes go wide as he looks at you.
In my lab?
He looks down at his mouth and looks up at him.
Yeah, I did it
Just kind
right.
of get his eyes move back and forth between the knots, looking at them all. He looks at you.
Professional. So I'm just gonna pace back and forth like in front of him while we're talking, while I'm smoking a pipe and kind of keeping an eye out on the surrounding area. If you need active perception checks, just let me know.
All right. How
What do you do?
stuffed is the bag in his mouth?
It's in there.
Okay.
I'm going to ask a series of questions. I'm going to take the bag out and you're going to answer them. And then I'm going to put it right back in. If you give me any trouble whatsoever, you will find it deeply, deeply unpleasant. Do you understand?
He looks at you, tilts his head slightly and nods.
All right. What were you doing in my lab? Answer quick. And I'm going to take an arrow and put it to his throat and then pull the bag out.
I'm assuming that's where Victor left me.
Put it back in his mouth. Victor, through the mirror. Nod yes or no?
He shrugs.
Okay. What were you doing when shit went sideways? I'm going to shake the arrow in front of his face, put it to his neck, pull the bag out.
Only you would be this arrogant. Though you are much younger than I remember.
Well, the great get young. I think that's a saying. Bag back in.
He laughs.
So many euphemisms in the course of my life. It's hard to keep them all separate. That's how it goes, right? The good get young and the old get dead. Wait.
He just shakes his head.
So I found this book. I'm gonna hold it in front of him.
His eyes zero in on it.
Doesn't seem important. Maybe we'll just toss it, get rid of some of this stuff over here. And I'll just kind of toss it on the ground, kind of kind of aggressively, like I don't know what I'm dealing with. And I'll throw some other junk on top of it. We need to travel light, so I'll just toss some of this stuff out, I guess.
He makes a sound through the bag.
What, this? I'm gonna lift up one of the vials. No, you already drank it. No worries. And I'm gonna throw it to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is my hat. Of course I'm gonna keep my hat. I would never throw this out. The book? The book. Oh. The one that's supposed to save your daughter. Interesting.
He rolls his eyes at you.
I think I'm gonna hold on to this for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put it in my sleeve. Just drop it in, straighten my sleeve out, and then kind of do like a magic wave my fingers kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why should I untie you? Why shouldn't I just leave you here? I'm gonna take the bag out, arrow to throat.
You know you're gonna untie me eventually.
Maybe.
Why aren't you with Adrie? Victor said you got to her.
I did get to her. I also shook her free without your little book. You're welcome.
How in the hell did you pull that shit off?
Bag back in. When you're brilliant, and I'm gonna
He
light
rolls
my
his
pipe.
eyes back. Oh my fucking god.
Want to blow smoke at him? When you're brilliant and you've lived as long as I have, possibility is it's for, possibilities are for the common man. Impossible is for the common man.
Motherfucker. Elf.
Elf? Yes, you are an
Not
elf.
man.
I'm very proud of you. It seems like you're really, it's gonna maybe take a little while before you're on my level, but it's good that you're able to identify some of these real basic things. Do you know your shapes yet? I'm gonna take another drag of the pipe. This is deeply unpleasant for you, isn't it? I'm gonna take the bag out. You're gonna play nice, right? Because I've got information that you might like to hear.
Yes, I'll play nice. I tried to play nice with you in the beginning, but you wouldn't play.
Well, I've got some positive news on that front.
Adrian will kill you.
Any old flames that you might like to rekindle with? Maybe a pretty blonde-haired lady?
His eyes zero in. Kaeviir.
I'm gonna reach into my sleeve and I'm gonna put a cigarette, like a rolled cigarette, in his mouth, and then lean my pipe out so he can light off of there if he wants.
What's in the cigarette?
Mostly love.
Oh, if you're capable of it, we would have found that a long time ago.
Ludo, I don't have time to be messing around with you amateurs. I've got business to attend to, and it does involve a pretty blonde elf. So I could just leave you here. I'm sure someone will come by eventually. I hear the kindness of strangers is legendary out here.
Well, if they remember who they are.
All right. Well,
Where's Adrie?
On the ship.
Why aren't you on the ship?
I had to check into something.
Let me go. I'll come with you. I gotta get that book back to her. But if you left her, she must. You said you freed her.
Yeah, that was me. I did that. Nothing else, just me.
Oh, there's more to this. There's always more to this.
It was the power of our friendship that snapped her from that dark place.
I think I'm in the Twilight Realm.
I'm going to lean forward to him and go, She just needed a little warm embrace, if you catch my drift. And then I'm gonna wink at him.
Wow. Oh, Ludo. Or Kaeviir.
You don't even. He knows he's an elf. He doesn't know who he is.
Man,
He knows
you really,
he's an elf.
you really fucked him up with that one.
Where are we off to?
Find your ex-wife, and I'm gonna take the arrow and I'm gonna cut
What
the
the
rope.
fuck? He starts cussing through Elvish.
I know those words. Stop. It's not some war chant. Fuck that kid up from the time she was a kid.
Ah,
It was Mirror Ludo that taught Adri those ancient elven battle cries.
Yeah. Well,
what do you mean? I don't have an ex-wife. I have a dead wife.
no, you have an ex-wife. See, I get that you're wrong all the time, but professionals
Don't.
like to get things correct.
Don't tell me this is a mirror thing again.
I can tie the ropes up again, and you can just celebrate Arbor Day all here by yourself. Or
I'm good. I'm coming.
you could take it from an actual professional.
We are speaking of Tharasta.
The Adrian, yeah. And if I were lying to you, you'd never know.
You're not even fucked up to lie about this, Kaeviir.
Oh, I don't know. I could probably lie about this.
You may be lying about sleeping with my daughter, but you're not lying about that.
Oh, no, that was truthful. And I'm going to start walking off into the woods.
Not with Adri's purity.
Not anymore, pal.
If you did it when she was Kess, she's gonna kill you when she realizes.
Nope. And I'm just fucking with him at this point, but I'm
Oh yeah.
trying to sell it.
Right. So
Pack that bag up too, if you don't mind.
fucking he starts weaving magic and moving stuff in the bag and picks the bag up with magic.
Maybe one day when you grow up to be a real spy, you'll be able to have no bag. And I'll do the wavy fingers again.
I have been spying in this land, probably not before you were born, but longer than you've been here.
And I'm already better, baby. What's that say about it?
You can keep saying you're better, doesn't mean you are.
No, me being better makes me better. I don't have to say it. You know it.
All right.
We're gonna continue our chess game. Oh, was that the same one, or was that vampire that I was playing with? That was him, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be like bishop to b6. Actually, I don't know if bishop can go to b6, so let's just
Yeah.
I said something smart.
Yeah. No, I was about to say you're gonna make me look up chess moves again. You made me look up chess moves last time.
I'm just gonna play
The two of them begin, yeah, are mentally playing chess back and forth.
Oh shit! You know what? I can clip this part out. I was super right. Apparently, lots of players move bishop to b6 in bullet chess. It's a very quick open. It's called Evan's Gambit. Solid.
Nice.
Bumble fucked my way into that smart. Thanks, Evan.
Ludo waves his hand and a lute pops out and he begins to play as they walk.
None of that.
There ain't nobody for fucking miles.
We're trying to be quiet.
Oh, okay. So he plays quietly.
No, don't play at all. Jesus. No wonder you're so terrible at this.
Please. I'm just drawing the attention from you so you can look pretty and go forward.
I'm going to shake my hat, put it back on. How do I look?
Better than the old grumpy man.
You like the red?
What not a bad color for you. I thought you had red on when we first met.
Not unless you out of game. Not unless he was spying on me.
Were you brown by the time you came across
when
him?
I came here, I was in golden kind of brown, right?
No, in the first game though.
In the first game, I was golden brown. I was wearing Relena's jacket.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then he remembers you in brown then.
Yeah, sorry. Just clip that out because
all good.
It'll be narratively confusing. Unless of course he knew me before. That'd be a cool move. That'd be cool if he spied on me beforehand. I don't like the implication of it though. So fuck him.
All right. No, you keep saying no to fucking him. I don't know why you keep saying fuck him.
Someone else fuck him, not me.
So he puts his loot away and begins to walk it with you.
So tell me about this X. We can compare stories. Ever been stabbed by yours?
Yep.
Yeah, me too.
And punched and kicked.
Uh-huh.
Punched multiple times. She threw a knife at me once. She threw a shield at me. She threw a breastplate at me. I don't know if there's anything in the tent she hasn't thrown at me.
I was giving a speech one time in front of a bunch of young professionals, and I collapsed. I was poisoned, and my kidney was destroyed, and I had to have a new body made. She thought that was hysterical.
Yeah, you got me beat there. She never poisoned me.
Well,
though my sister told me she thought about it.
Tell me about your ex. What's she like? Would you know her if you saw her?
You can't forget her. The blonde hair, the way she had it always braided up. You can't forget her. The way the sun gleamed off the armor. And she never smelled like the normal debutantes either. She always she smelled sweaty, but I mean that's what she was. She never fucking ran with the normal nobles. She was always. We met in war, and it's kind of where the life carried out through war. You?
Where'd I meet mine?
Mm-hmm.
She had killed 2 people in my circus. And a bunch of townsfolk went to get them, and I'm trying to remember, it's so long ago. I remember we found her just out in public in front of a tavern, as if nothing had happened. She was bold like that. It used to teach us to when you go somewhere and you don't want to be recognized, to disguise yourself in local garb and pick up the local dialect and just sort of make yourself not memorable. And she never did that. She'd always have some elaborate hairdo and silver hair picks and elaborate dresses and gowns, even in farmland. She was unique like that.
That makes sense.
Not really, but
it does with you. It does with you. So
we used to play this game where, in order to prove we were better than each other, we'd try to sort of trick the other one. Take something from the other person's pocket and replace it with something else. Get into someone's notes and leave wrong information and see how long it took them to catch it. Forge handwritings and signatures and things like that. But eventually it got more aggressive.
Okay.
One time I woke up in prison.
I
I'd apparently done a bunch of things that I don't remember doing. And that was a strange week.
Thrastus had been put in prison before too. The worst part is when she like breaks your nose, she won't actually heal you.
Must
No,
be.
the cure wounds are for this innocent. I'm like,
Yeah. Apparently that's a family trait.
Yeah, I remember Adri having issues healing people.
Yeah, me
Outside
too.
the ones, yeah.
I'm just gonna grab my arm. Just like
she kicks almost as hard as her mother. Almost.
check for tracks.
All right. Were you commanding him or were you checking?
No, I'm telling him. And I'm gonna watch him
Okay.
do it. I just wanna gauge where he's at.
He looks around. He
What
sees
method
behind
is
and
he using? Investigation, or is he looking for survival?
survival.
Okay.
He rolled a 16 on the natural, then I know I got his character sheet around here fucking somewhere. No, it's not in there. It
While
has to be in this book.
he's doing this, I'm going to use the what's it called action? Insightful manipulator to try to
Okay.
determine if his intelligence wisdom.
Oh, you're
Yeah, we'll
gonna
do
make me.
intelligence wisdom.
Hey, give me a second. That's Victor, Alina. Oh, yep. No, here it is. All right.
Intelligence wisdom. Intelligence is a 17 on me, and wisdom is a 16 on me.
You have him barely beat in intelligence, and then you have him beat in wisdom.
Knew I was better. I'm not
He
gonna
has
say
you beat in
anything.
con though, or charisma. He has you beat.
For sure. For sure.
So, he's kind of scratching his hair. He's like, fuck. He casts precipitation on his hair, cleaning it. God damn it. Fucking dragon hordes. Like, you think a fucking animal fucking is ancient and old and fucking they'd be able to clean up after themselves. Like, fucking hell.
Shadow dragon?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Just the one?
Ebb. I ran into Ebb, not her mate. She wasn't really happy with me pillaging the floating castle for Adri's book.
And you didn't
If I
even
hadn't,
need to. Isn't that funny?
oh, loads after all the shitstorm I went through to get to the castle.
You see any other books up there that might be useful to have?
Probably half the land has journals in that room. I was only looking for Adri's. Wait. Don't tell me Thrastus. Fuck. I don't want to do this again. I dealt with Adri becoming Kess for fucking years before it fully kicked in.
Feel free to leave.
Not a chance. Not a chance.
I'm gonna look at the loot he's carrying. You ever play a real instrument?
I play all the instruments.
I'm just trying to break his thinking when he starts to go off on a tangent, or he starts to like think about all the struggle it was to get the other thing. I'm breaking him out of that and bringing him back to something that's more pleasant, and then we can reapproach I'm gonna get him to talk about this bitch, and not in like a romantic way, but in like a substantial, give me the information I want sort of way, but without him
Mhm.
knowing.
All right.
So, I was reported on that she was with Soth. You think they have a thing going?
Wait. No, yeah, Soth. I heard he was in.
You think she'd get down with Soth?
It all depends on who the hell she thinks she is. Thrust herself? Not a chance. No. She didn't want to
surprised.
get with me in the beginning. He puts quotations up as they're walking.
Well,
I had, dude.
she's
That
more
was a
likable
battle.
already.
You're a cunt.
A little bit, yeah.
But nah, she just kept trying. But no, she does not yield.
You're
She
like
doesn't know how to quit.
erosion.
Pretty much.
You'll just wear them down. Charming.
Oh, good thing about elves, we got the time.
You think you have the time. You don't really got that much time, to be perfectly honest with you.
Compared to most humans, unlike you, most humans are flowers to the life of an elf as a great tree.
Well, trees are but passing breeze to a mountain.
You keep smoking like that, you ain't gonna be a mountain, you're gonna be the ash underneath. I don't care how many times you do whatever you do to keep popping back younger.
I'm going to take a long, slow, deliberate drag. Right in his face.
Oh. Oh.
Well, let's get to moving. Any luck on those tracks?
Just ours behind us. There's some animals around us, but nothing insane right now.
I'm going to do an investigation check. I want to see if there's any part of this grass that's been pressed down or moved through. We know that in the vision that we saw carts. If carts traveled in any area within eye shot, they would probably have broken twigs and sort of a straight path, generally rail by rail.
You guys got almost a half a day before you get close to that.
No, I know, but I assume
Okay.
that the cart started somewhere. So I'm just
Okay.
going to keep an eye out for that particular breakage pattern. Also, it had rained here recently, if I'm not mistaken, from the story
It has.
that was told. The
Mhm.
dragon touched the mud, sank a
Yep.
little bit.
So
we're probably looking at a covered wagon. So if it's a covered wagon, it probably means that it's about 8, 9, 10, maybe 10 if it's a large cart, feet high, which means that a lot of the overhanging bramble would have been broken as well. I'll keep an eye out for that.
Okay.
To help sort of,
All right. Before we continue, is there anything Rayne and Adrie want to do while you guys are traveling?
If we have the time, Adrie is going to attempt to scry on Kaeviir and also her mother.
Oh God, this is gonna be super fun.
She gets 2 scries a day.
A day. All right.
No woman, no scry. No woman,
All right.
no scry.
All right. Because how fun this is going to be. Unless Rayne wants to do anything else today.
Not
This-
not particularly. No, just it's.
Well, I'm sure she'll relay the information once she gets it.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. Other than just continuing to monitor the
Yeah.
progress of the ship and beefing up potentially anything I might consider to be a weak point. Yeah, no.
Okay.
I'm focused on the end the end of this, not necessarily the trip itself.
All right. Sounds good.
This would have to be on a different day. I can't.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
I know.
All right. Okay.
I mean, they still have days of travel ahead of them too, being on foot.
I figured that I would we'll probably play instruments at some
Mhm.
point, like a competition between the two of us. And then another, we'd probably play a lot of chess, but we wouldn't use a board or pieces. We just do it in our heads.
Yeah.
And I know he's capable of that, so that's good.
Yeah.
And then the other thing would be me messing with him about Adrie, probably, about how romantically involved she was. She's so interested in me, but you know, I'm so much older. Just to watch him get angry.
Oh, you definitely get his attention most of the times you
I
play
wanted to
that
give you a
game.
couple vignettes of what's happening, so you can choose
Oh, yeah.
what you see when you jump back based on when it happens.
I would
All
say
right.
after Adri's long rest, first thing in the morning, after she prepares her spells. So like the morning after Kaeviir's disappearance, that's when she would scry.
Okay.
I'll let you place whichever one you think is best for your.
Well, because I'm scrying a person, you get to make a save against it.
Oh, that's a good point.
It's a wisdom save. However,
It's a new day as well, so I get to roll two rolls. Let me go ahead and get those.
And the tennis match begins.
Mhm.
13
Oh yeah, no, this
and
is
16.
okay.
Okay, I just found this goddamn character sheet. No, I lost it. Hold on. No, you guys keep going.
Okay.
Scouring now.
So, there are a couple modifiers to the save. The first part is the knowledge of the target. I would say that Adri is familiar with Kaeviir, which means that he gets a -5 to his roll.
Mm-hmm.
As for connection, she still has that pipe, which is an additional -4 to his roll, so that would be a total of a -9.
Okay.
So I need a
Okay,
wisdom
hold on.
save -9.
What's the DC?
How would you know the DC?
Oh, you bitch. All right, it's a wisdom save, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Well, all right then.
Yeah?
Shut up, Nate. Jesus. It was a 1.
Man.
It was a 1.
Oh.
-9.
-9. Okay.
Oh, that
That was the
So-
onest one ever. But in order to steal the glory of it, I'll allow it without even bothering.
Oh.
All right.
okay.
Oh man.
Oh,
I could
I
luck
think
you
I.
back. I'll save it. I'll save
Ooh,
it for fucking with,
Riordan. I
I'll
found
save it
him.
for fucking with your dad.
Ooh.
Right. Found Riordan. The
Uh-uh.
problem is, I think I gave him the stats for Ludo Prime,
We're just reordinary
which would be the
people.
Dark Ludo.
Oh no.
So yeah.
Uh,
So hold on, I'm
Okay.
You hear that,
going
Rachel?
through 3 fucking
What?
campaign books right now.
We're just reordinary people. The first time I met your dad, he tried to blow.
No.
We're just reordinary.
Wow.
oh,
Okay.
man.
Your dad investigates too slow. Take it slow.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, cool. Where the fuck's his spell sheet?
Adrie's body won't grow.
What?
Her body's too low. If she wasn't a vegetarian, maybe she'd grow.
Ah,
And I haven't had a Killian's in a long time. And every time you wear that shirt, I fucking
right?
think to myself, I remember how shitty drunk I used to get on Killian's Irish Red.
Yeah.
Like all the fucking
Oh.
time.
It's my family's beer.
We bought 4 cases of fucking Killian's Irish Red,
Uh-huh.
and then 4 cases of Guinness Extra Stout, and 4 cases of regular Guinness.
Oh.
And then scotch and fucking whiskey and vodka. And so this is for 4th of July at a house with a bunch of guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been really drunk in my life. Not generally from beer. I can like drink beer for like a week and not get drunk. But like I got so fucking drunk. Like I don't know if in my life I've ever been that completely out of my brain. But I just remember that when I woke up the next morning, my mouth tasted like a loaf of bread. And I just think about it's like imagine eating an entire loaf of bread and then going right to bed and waking up the next morning. That like it was just terrible.
Yep.
Oh, you can clip all that. I guess it's not relevant, but I was waiting for D-Walk to find the sheet.
Well, I scried Kaeviir.
Okay.
I think his -4.
I'll allow it.
His -4 does not beat the DC.
Okay.
So
I'm too kind to point out that I could have lucky rolled that or used any one of my
Important
rolls, but I didn't. I'll allow it,
Okay.
Rachel.
Okay.
on a failed save, which is what Kaeviir did, he failed the save.
Because I chose to fail it.
He failed it.
I could have gone
The
again.
spell creates an invisible sensor within 10 feet of the target. You can see and hear through the sensor as if you were there. The sensor moves with the target, remaining within 10 feet of it for the duration. A creature that can see invisible objects sees the sensor as a luminous orb about the size of your fist. It lasts for 10 minutes. I will be spending the entire 10 minutes watching through the orb.
Does it say invisible?
Yes.
It says anyone who can see invisibility.
Yes.
What about a person with an inordinately high investigation?
You can't see invisibility.
Perception.
Yeah, it has to be able to see invisible.
Does it have form?
No.
It doesn't have a tangible form.
It doesn't say it does.
So like if wind were to blow and make a whistle noise and then a scrying sensor disrupted the wind.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying.
So I also want to point out.
This is why I throw paint at all times.
I also want to point out that in the spell description, it does say if a target knows you're casting the spell, it can fail the saving throw voluntarily if it wants to be observed. Kaeviir doesn't know. Kaeviir doesn't know I'm casting the spell. He doesn't know that I'm casting it. Therefore, he fails it. He didn't choose to fail it. He just failed it.
I want you to know that is incredibly petty, and I've never been more attracted to you than when you just did that. I want you to know that you're going to get it later.
Hey, Nate.
Just for that. Just for that.
Yeah. So, Nate, what are you doing later tonight?
He's like, hopefully failing a save. D-Walk, cast something on him quick. Thanks for listening to Freelance Heroism. We really appreciate you coming in and listening. We also really appreciate all the people who support our Patreon. By supporting the Patreon, you're going to get behind the scene uncut clips that you'll get to see sort of like maybe the tissue behind some of the edited, cleaned up content. And you'll get that whenever we have a big block of it to drop, as well as any updates or any information behind the scenes stuff that we think the Patreons would like to know. So if you'd like to support our Patreon and help us continue making the high quality, high octane podcast that you've come to expect, go ahead to patreon.com/freelance_heroism. Thank you. And as usual, the invoice is in the mail.
You guys remember Pothian and Kindness?
Pothian?
The ranger and the dog.
Oh my God.
Oh no.
I thought the dog was gone.
Count.
I thought the dog was gone. I thought he got a spider.
Yeah, he does have a spider at the end of it. Yeah. No, I'm looking at the sheet right now, and in the second battle when you guys killed Pothian, he had a spider because the dog didn't make it to the first one.
What is that?
A spider?
Yeah.
This bit.
God, you had me for a second. I was like,
You saw what
no.
a spider is?
Still never fought one.
Wait till
Uh,
she finally finds out. I can't
No.
wait.
I had to pull out my old notes from the first campaign.